Who would have thought a tiny newborn baby could actually do useful things which have a purpose to help them develop, grow, and survive? Primitive reflexes are a set of natural reactions and movement patterns that a newborn baby develops prior to birth in the prenatal period. They assist in the birthing process and enable survival in the first few months of life. They start the development process of specific neural pathways and generally integrate to more complex reflexes and movement patterns within the first year of life. The Moro reflex and asymmetrical tonic neck reflex are both examples of primitive reflexes that a baby is born with. These reflexes and the strength and presence of them, along with how long the baby retains certain reflexes, are crucial signs in determining gross motor development of the baby. The Moro reflex develops at approximately 9 weeks in utero, which is around the time the mechanics of the vestibular system, the system which deals with balance, is beginning to form. It should be completely diminished by 12 to 14 weeks. At birth, the baby is unable to make rational decisions as to what may or may not be a threat, so it is an involuntary defense reflex that can be set off by excessive stimulation to any of the baby's senses. For example, a sudden bright light or loud noise. It is comprised of a series of rapid movements where the baby's arms and legs fly upwards together away from the body. Once the baby exhales, it gradually relaxes and crosses its arms over its chest in a self-hugging way. This specific reflex and movement pattern helps to stimulate balance, which is crucial to function in life. Also, with balance comes a sense of direction and orientation, whether in utero or postnatal. The Moro reflex also helps develop head control and sitting equilibrium. This is essential as a newborn baby's head is so big in comparison to the rest of its body. It allows the baby to develop a stable sitting position without falling over because of its big head. Persistence or absence of this reflex can be an indicator of abnormal motor development. If the reflex is absent altogether, it could suggest the baby has damage to the brain or spinal cord. If the reflex is only present on one side, it is asymmetrical. It may suggest a possible broken shoulder bone or injury to nerves that run from the lower neck to the upper shoulder. Studies have shown that children who are diagnosed with spastic cerebral palsy do not show signs of the Moro reflex within the first few months of life. Spastic cerebral palsy is when they have tight muscle groups which limit movements, usually producing jerky and rigid movements. Subsequently, it appears around 5, even 7 months of age and is retained till the end of the first year. This shows that primitive reflexes can be blocked by certain inhibitory mechanisms in the baby's first couple of months. It is believed that this reflex appears around 5 months of age due to central nervous system maturation or because of physical therapy. The asymmetrical tonic neck reflex is a postural reflex that develops at approximately 18 weeks at utero and is present at birth. It should be completely gone by 6 months of age. This reflex is seen as a baby turns its head to one side, the arm and leg on that side will automatically extend and the other arm and leg will flex. The main function of this reflex is to develop muscle tone, which is essential for allowing and preparing the baby for more complex movements. When the baby rotates its head to one side, it is developing the muscle extensors on that side, as well as the muscle flexors on the opposite side. This reflex is also needed at birth, as it allows the baby to move through the birth canal. It is the baby's first experience in understanding coordination of both sides of its body working together, the right and left, and upper and lower body. This process is fundamental in strengthening the ATNR. It can explain why caesarean babies have more chance of becoming developmentally delayed as they don't develop the coordination that is needed for the interweaving patterns of crawling and walking through the birthing process. Another reason why this reflex is fundamental in the baby's development is because it helps build neural connections between systems, in particular neural connections between the eyes and hands. When the baby's arm follows the direction of its head, it is forming essential neural connections, in turn prompting good hand-eye coordination. Like the Moro reflex, if this reflex is persistent after 6 months, it can be a clinical indicator of abnormal development or possible central nervous system damage. However, the retention of the ATNR can be an early indicator of athetoid cerebral palsy, which involves uncontrolled involuntary movements. Though in saying that, having a prolonged ATNR alone cannot be a telltale sign that the baby has athetoid cerebral palsy. It is just an early alert that something is not right, prompting further tests. Though studies have shown that babies who do have a prolonged ATNR have later in life been diagnosed with athetoid cerebral palsy. Primitive reflexes are an essential component of a baby's development. They aid in the birthing process and strengthen muscles to prepare the baby for more complex movements. The strength and how long the reflexes persist can help determine the gross motor development of the baby. Primitive reflexes help the baby to survive in the first couple of months, and essentially, the baby's life depends on them. Thank you.